first video for our blog, CSB SJU Reflections. I'm Chris Heitzig.
I'm Connor Beck.
And today we're going to talk about our favorite classes at CSB SJU. We're each going to try to pick three. I know there's, just from talking with Connor before, there's a lot to choose from. We both have a lot of classes we really enjoyed at CSB SJU, so it's going to be really tough. But Connor's told me he's narrowed down his three, and I think I'm going to try and do that at some point today.
And we'd like to thank everyone who's watching this video right now for watching our blog in this video post and for reading our entries so far. We've gotten a lot of support from all over the world. Here's looking at you, Japan and Bosnia and the US Virgin Islands and everyone. So thank you so much. If this is your first time watching or reading, thank you as well. So, shall we, Chris?
Yeah, do you want to go first or shall I?
You go first. What was one of your favorite classes? It doesn't have to be your first here, but...
Yeah, I think I'm going to go in order from my top choice and run down from there. Far and away, my favorite class at CSB SJU was Moral Philosophy with Dr. Steve Wagner. And basically that class, we just explored all the major moral theories that have been presented throughout time. So we packed a lot in, but we got a lot out of it.
Solid.
Yeah, it was just a great class also because we had 12 seniors in the class, and then Nick, Benson, and I were the only two sophomores in there, so it was just like a great dynamic. Nick and I learned so much from the older kids in our class.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you? What was your favorite class that you took at CSBSU?
First favorite class, and I don't know if we should talk to the camera or just talk to each other, but we're still figuring this out.
We'll do both,
Okay, absolutely. Because you, the audience, you're part of the conversation as well.
If you have comments, post them on our blog. We want to hear what your favorite classes are too, because we probably missed out on a lot of great classes.
We did. But if you can share some of the knowledge with us, we would love that. We love conversation. That's how things get passed on, including knowledge. Okay, so one of my favorite classes has to have been ecofeminist philosophy, and it had another name also, Men, Women, and the Environment. It was a gender studies class that also had a touch of environmental science, and it looked at how social issues are connected to environmental issues. And I really enjoyed the class because it instilled within me a passion for environmentalism and for being proactive.
So that was the beginning.
That was the beginning of my calling in life and hopefully a rewarding career to come.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, I mean, I like to think so. So anyways, this is the type of class that would really cause me some serious sadness every day. I'd come home feeling pretty down, pretty low from just going to class and hearing about different ways that...
Hearing what's wrong with the world.
Right. Different ways that people are destroying the environment and hurting each other in the process, and not really thinking about that, realizing the complex and very serious outcomes of environmental degradation and destruction. But at the same time, that class also instilled within me a lot of hope for the future as well.
How to fix those problems.
And that was more so through class, but then the following months after class, and the following year too, I just really realized through that class that as a privileged individual who's privileged with an education, I have the ability to make changes in the world. And it's not only my responsibility, or it's not only my challenge as an individual, but it's my responsibility to do so as someone with the capability. People are depending on me, and it's a big challenge, but it's exciting. It's exciting as well. So here we go.
One thing I just want to quick ask a question.
Go for it.
I really love the name Ecofeminist Philosophy. I think that's like a great name of the course, but what was one issue for you that really, sparked your interest or made you think, wow, this is actually a big idea that social constructions can have an effect on the environment? what was one, or maybe the issue that really sparked that? Or maybe there wasn't one, but
I don't know if it was so much a gender issue. That's a great question.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if it's a gender issue that really got this passion going within me, but
Uh-huh.
learning about how the destruction of our environment could potentially lead to some serious crises in the future. Overproduction, the mismanagement of resources could really pose a threat to human survival. And a lot of people might say, oh, like, you're wrong, or you don't actually mean that, do you? But no, it's true. And we have to acknowledge it. But that's fine. Like, we can do it. We can make a change. For me, a big idea was this concept of sustainability and how people can be a part of creating a sustainable future, which is how they choose to behave and how they choose to spend their money, even. So people buying produce that was produced from a local farm, organically, in a sustainable way, that is a way that people can just spend their money and make a difference in the world, and create a change. So I thought that idea was revolutionary. I can go more into that later on a blog post, and I intend to, but
I would love to read it.
Great. And I would love to hear about another one of your favorite classes, so if you would, please.
Yeah, after moral philosophy, it kind of gets tough. There's just a lot of great classes to choose from, but the second one, my second favorite class was econometrics. It's an econ class that puts a lot of emphasis on statistical analysis. It's one of the last classes you take in your econ major, and I've always been kind of like a stats guy. I used to read the box scores in the newspaper every morning and read up on all sorts of numbers, like weird numbers and like statistical facts about the world. And so this class really played into my interests, and I love economics, and so that blend was a real treat for me that semester.
Solid, Chris. Okay. Second favorite class is also one that ties in with probably my third favorite class.
Yeah, let's hear about
I'll
it.
say it. So, Jewish philosophy and theology, two classes, 2 different semesters, both with the same professor by the name of Rabbi David. And
Rabbi David
Wirtschafter. Great guy. Really miss him. He's moving to Kentucky. Got a head rabbinate
Oh, is he
position.
really?
Yeah,
I didn't know
unfortunately. So I'm happy for him, but it's bittersweet.
Yeah.
It's bittersweet. Anyways,
He couldn't stay there after you graduated.
Yeah.
There's no way.
I know, right? I know,
How
too
could you?
heartbroken. Yeah. Anyways, I found Jewish philosophy really refreshing. First of all, Rabbi Wirtschafter was a great mentor for me in my life. Just phenomenal guy, taught me a lot. But especially when I took the second level of that class, I was really kind of re-engaging with questions of faith and religion and spirituality in my own life. And I took Jewish philosophy because I thought it was a class that could offer a different perspective on spirituality, as I'd been used to in my life, coming from a Catholic background, and then being, someone who struggled with their faith and then just totally didn't have any, at all as an atheist. And that was a relief to take something that wasn't centered along traditional Christian lines. So I took the second level especially with this mindset that I wanted to re-engage with
your own faith.
And spirituality. And I really discovered a lot more about Christianity through studying Jewish philosophy. And I found that Jewish philosophy and theology are two things that thinkers have made especially relevant in a modern context. I'm not going to do something as an individual unless I find purpose and meaning in it. Mm-hmm. And Jewish philosophy and theology taught me a whole lot about my understanding of religion and spirituality and God and the universe, and got me to kind of reconnect with that side of myself in a very big way, and just reinforce my own identity as someone who is religious again, and that's super cool. So just very life-changing, and it was kind of like the coax I needed to get me to re-engage and to look for purpose and meaning beyond just myself, and to continue this path towards like self-transcendence. And I found it incredibly enlightening.
So second was contemporary Jewish philosophy.
Contemporary Jewish philosophy was first. So the most recent class was that was second.
Your second favorite.
That was my second favorite, and the first level was my third favorite.
Okay,
for sure.
So
And
like Intro to Jewish Studies, or
yes, and talking to a rabbi about the Holocaust was
so powerful.
Great.
Yeah.
It was great, and just a lot of other things too as well. I remember, and this was a profound idea that I heard before, of course, but Rabbi came in first day of class. He was talking about the Jewish people and their demographics, but he said this. He said, for those who have much is expected. And he was talking about the Jewish people. Right, that same sort of thing. You know, Peter Parker, Spider-Man, and all that. But he looked at us, and he just paused. And I knew that like he was really talking about the entire class. As educated individuals, we had a lot, and the world expected a lot of us, and we should expect a lot of ourselves too. So profound, some good mentorship from Rabbi.
You know what? I'm sort of sensing a trend here. Our favorite classes, yes, we're interested in the study of them academically, but there also is that component that we become better people, or we become something more in the direction that we want to be. You got to explore your own faith in these two classes. In moral philosophy, I got to explore my own ethical views. And maybe even with econometrics, I got to explore some ways to look at the world that I already subscribe to, that I already tend to view the world in. So that's really cool that, you know, our favorite classes have mixed interests, academic interests, with personal satisfaction and are something that, like a personal value, something that's really important to us.
And I think when you got a good education, when you find yourself looking back on classes and realizing that you got this combination of personal development along with that more academic aspects, traditional academic aspects too. And without a doubt, that's what we experienced at St. John's, St. Ben's. Two fantastic institutions that give you just that. They really do. If you seek it out, and if you challenge yourself to make the most of those opportunities, you will certainly have them. So we're fortunate.
Absolutely.
Okay, I want to hear about your third
favorite class. This one was especially difficult for me. It came down to two, Dostoevsky with Scott Richardson, and my FYS class, in fact. And I decided to go with my FYS class just because we had such a great group of students, a lot of really fun personalities, an outstanding professor in Elizabeth Stoltz, whom I still talk to this very day and have a good relationship with. Our FYS topic was justice and the common good. So we read all these books, fiction and some nonfiction, about what makes a society just, or what makes an act just, and how do you secure the common good for society. And age-old questions that are really important to consider if you're an individual, because you want to live in a just society, and the only way that society is going to be just is if everyone believes that same idea of it's really important for everyone to do their part so we all have something that we want. Just such a great class, so many great discussions, read some great pieces of literature, Sophocles and the Greeks, all the way up to C.S. Lewis.
That's my boy.
So covered the course kind of spanned like almost 3 millennia.
Yeah,
which
of
kind of crazy to think
human
about.
tradition of questioning reality, and you got to be part of that. Rich tradition.
It really says something about the topic of the course. If people have been writing relevant literature on the topic for over 3,000 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh. That's exciting. That really is.
Well, this has been great, Connor. I've really enjoyed hearing about all the outstanding classes that you took at CSB SJU, and wanted to cheers to that.
Cheers to you, Chris Heitzig. And cheers to you, all of our viewers as well. Tell your friends if they're interested in learning more about college, if they're going into college, or St. John St. Ben's, or Ben's and Johnny's right now, and they're looking to engage with someone else's experiences. I know that I gain a lot through sharing experiences too, and Chris and I certainly, done that many a time in our friendship, shared experience, and learned a lot from it. Mm-hmm. So that's just kind of what we hope this blog to be, and hope that you got out of it as well. Also, if you're curious, these mugs are made by Johnny, Joel Cherico. That's a shameless plug, okay? He's good, but thanks again for watching our blog. And
give us some feedback. Let us know how you like this video.
Or if you don't like it, tell us. And if you want to say, like, stop talking, Connor, I'll do that.
But if you're watching the end of this video, chances are it at least was of some benefit to you.
Thank you so much. And we'll be writing and blogging more in the future.
Yeah, so keep your eyes peeled. See you later.